Today we're talking about chords and arpeggios, and I'm going to make this as simple as possible, especially for all of my wonderful friends and neighbors in the neighbor. Oh my God, I've gone full Mr. Rogers. Friends and neighbors, welcome back to the Brownstone. I'm glad you're here. Today, we are focusing on playing chords and arpeggios, but I'm going to make this super simple and go back to the very first lesson in our beginner series. In that lesson, we learned the first three notes on the E string. That's it. We learned the open E, the F at the first fret, and the G at the third fret. And then as we went on and learned all of the notes, the first three notes across all four strings, we had this sequence of notes happening. Now, there's something I need you all to remember, because I remember teaching a lesson a while ago where there were a couple of students in the class who couldn't make the correlation between the alphabet and the fretboard. So when we were learning the first three notes on the A string, I played the open A. And then I asked them what note comes after A. No idea. They couldn't make that correlation. But the fact of the matter is we're using the alphabet, right? If I start from the open A, I've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then I start over again, A, B, C. This is the thing that we need to remember, and it's going to come into play as we go through and learn the first three chords in this lesson. So what I want to do quickly is just go through the notes, all of the notes that we learned from the open E all the way up to the fifth fret of the G string. That's the note C. Now, just remember the alphabet. If you can remember the alphabet and then also remember the finger positions that we're using on each string, it'll help you to remember where everything is. Just use the alphabet, right? So I've got E, F, G, and then on the A string it was open A and then second and third fret. Open A, second fret, third fret. So if we're starting from A, that's A, B, C. And then it's the same thing on the D string. Open, second fret, third fret. So if we're starting from D, that's D, E, F. And then we have the open G. G is the last note in our series of the sort of alphabetical notes that we're using in this, this progression. So we have G. If that's the last note, then the next note is going to be A, where we start again. A at the second fret, B at the fourth fret, and then C at the fifth fret. So you can practice all of these notes, which is what we did in, what was it, like the fourth lesson of the beginner series? Okay, now we are going to use these notes to build our chords. And again, I'm going to start with just the first three chords using the first three notes that we learned, right? The notes of the E string, E, F, G. Now, here's how we're going to do this. The chords are built on this idea of stacking thirds. When you stack thirds, you play a note, you skip a note. I'm going to skip F and then play G. So I've played the G, so I skip the next note, which is A, and then play B. I skip the C and play D. So what you can do is name the notes as you go, but play a note, skip a note, play a note, skip a note. So if I go E, F, G, A, B, C, D, then this is my first chord. This is the first chord that I'm using, built off of that low E. 2nd fret of the E string. So this is my first chord. Now, I'm just using the notes that we learned, the first 3 notes on each string. These are the only notes I'm using because we're playing in the key of C, and the key of C, none of the notes have any sharps or flats. So you don't have to worry about any of that stuff if we're just using these natural notes, right? So play a note, skip a note. Start from the E, skip the F, play G, skip the A, play B, skip the C, play D. Now, this is an E minor chord. I'll get into the specifics in a later video. But for now, I just want you to understand how to play through these shapes. So this is an E minor chord. Now, if I'm starting from the E as my root note, then I've got E as my first note of my chord. This is the root note. This is the 3rd, this is the 5th, and this is the 7th of the chord. So that's our first chord using those notes. Now, the second note that we learned on the E string was at the 1st fret. This is the note F, right? So now we can apply the same logic. Play a note, skip a note. Here's F, I'm gonna skip G. Play the A, skip B. Play the C, skip D, and play the E at the 2nd fret of the D string. This is our second shape. So F to A to C to E. Right? These are our first 2 chords. I'm going to jump straight to the 3rd chord because I think you're getting the idea now, right? If I go to the 3rd fret of the E string, I'm playing the note G. And I can use the same logic. I play a note, play that G, skip the next note, which is A, skip C, and go to D, skip the E, and play F. So now I have this chord. So these are our 3 chords. I've got an E chord that is minor. I've got an F chord that is major. And then I've got a G chord that for now I'm just going to call major. It's a dominant 7th chord, but we don't need to get into that right now. What I really want you to do is just learn these shapes. So your exercise is to learn the shapes, 1, and then I want you to play them ascending and descending, like this. So I'm playing E, and then I'm going to come back down that shape. And then go straight to F. And then come back down. And then go to G. And then I'm going to go back to the F chord. And then when I go down to the E, I can end the exercise. And that's it. So what we are doing by isolating each note of the chord and then playing those notes in sequence, we're playing arpeggios. We're playing what's called an arpeggio. And each arpeggio, of course, creates a certain shape on the fretboard. So the mission, if you choose to accept, is to just learn the shapes. And we're just dealing with the first 3. If you can get those down, ascending and descending, then you're off to a really great start. And the other thing is, we haven't named the notes, but if you remember that there is a direct correlation between what's going on the fretboard and the alphabet, then what you can do is, if you're having trouble remembering the names of the notes as you play them, just remember the alphabet. And you can even go through, because we're playing a note and skipping a note. So you can play this slowly. Say all the names of the notes out loud, but remember you're playing one and skipping one. So I can play E, F, G, A, B, C, D. And that's how you remember. And then after a while, you'll just be able to take away the notes that you're not playing. And remember that you're playing E to G to B to D. And then backwards, D, B, G to the open E. And you can do this with all three of the chords. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow through in subsequent videos and go through on each string and play these arpeggios so that you are learning what will essentially be all of the chords in this particular key, the key of C, C major. So this is a great exercise to get you started on the idea of playing chords and arpeggios, and we'll also get into the idea of the harmony behind each of these chords and how they relate to the key of C major. We're using all of the notes in the key of C major, basically the C major scale, right? And then building a chord off each degree of the scale. This is what we're doing. But we're starting from the low E, because the first three notes of the E string are the first three notes that we learned in lesson number 1 in the beginner series. So I figured this would be a good place to start. Friends and neighbors, I'm going to leave it there. Have fun with this lesson, as I always say. And, you know, try to take all of the advice that I gave you, name those notes, play through, learn the shapes, play the shapes ascending and descending, so that you really get all of that information in here and in the muscle memory as well. Hey, listen, if you like this video, do me a huge favor and click the old like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell to let you know when videos are coming out on this channel. And if you are in a position to do so, you may donate in a number of ways, and I will leave those links in the description box below. All of the above is greatly appreciated. And I thank you once again for visiting me here in the Brownstone. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video very soon. Peace.